Hello everyone, Ginger on Wheels here. Welcome to another build video where today we're going to be talking about and showing you a little glimpse behind the scenes into the MyMaxMods lab, where recently we built a Ninebot Max G2 into a 72 volt powerhouse that's actually running off two Ninebot G30 controllers. If you've got any questions about this video or the build, make sure to leave a comment down below. We can grow our scooter community together. These videos aren't for everyone. I recognize they're not everyone's cup of tea, but if you enjoy it, please make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for more great scooter content. Without further ado, here are two dorks in a garage. What's going on, everybody? It's Ginger on Wheels here. I'm here with my buddy Chris. Hey, you've met him before. He is the owner of MyMaxMods.com. He's the Ninebot Max wizard. 1 million views, 1 million people. That is how popular the last Ninebot Max video was, where he put the 48 volt battery kit in it. The thing went like 25 miles per hour, but we have a little trick up our sleeves. What are we doing today?
So we took the new G2, we made it 2-wheel drive. We got the Fat Max in the front and the rear. We got hydraulic brakes in the front so you can actually stop when he's going that fast. We made it 72 volts and be 84 volts fully charged. And we're gonna do field weakening. We're gonna keep two Ninebot Max controllers on there, and we're gonna push those as far as those will go, and he'll find out what that level is. So he's gonna send it and see what he can break, and you guys will get to see it all, the carnage, or it'll be a great success. We won't know until the very end.
Fingers crossed. Let's roll the intro and get started. So aside from the motor in the front and the custom battery, well, we have Fat Max in the back. This is all we're doing right now. You guys recognize that, right? Controller, I'm gonna pop that in there. We have a blown controller in the front.
And this is the stock controller from the G30. We took out the G2 one. And what you're gonna do down here is you're gonna have a slave one. Now this will be wrapped, so it's all protected. But essentially this one button right here will turn off and on both dashboards, but essentially it's gonna be sending the same commands to the second dashboard, and that's how we're gonna easily run it off the second controller.
So we're just wiring this in parallel, basically.
Exactly. So we get the same readings off the brake and the throttle here.
Got it. Let's get to work.
All right. So you have your power and your ground. These are gonna go, obviously the dash will be powered by the second controller. You're gonna have two signal wires. You're gonna have blue and you're gonna have green. Blue is just the signal wire going to the brake. Green is just the signal wire going to the throttle. So this is where your imitation are gonna come from the stock dashboard to the second dashboard. That's all you need, because all the rest of the components, the power and the ground, are all powered by the original dashboard. So all these signal wires will already have power, and these are the only ones that you need to send to your second dashboard when you plug it into the controller.
Good to know.
So what we did here is we did it wrong. Well, we didn't do it wrong. We shorted this controller out. Let me show you guys what happens. And this is what makes it complicated. This way just makes it so one controller, one dashboard at the top runs both controllers. So you can see the difference here. Like I said, you have to go straight down on this here. These cannot touch. Don't do this modification with the power to the dashboard. Make sure it's all powered down. You'll pretty much put the ground and the positive, and then you have to put this straight up in the air.
So they're sticking straight up and down off the PCB instead of to the side.
And then you have to add glue in between here to make sure that this doesn't fold and rub against that part. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way. You can just run the dashboard outside. There's 3D STLs online where you can literally just take the dashboard, it mounts on the side, and you can just run the cable out. So that's the easiest way to do it. This way you only have to run one dashboard. But again, that does require some soldering.
So like we said, in order to prevent this thing from shorting out, you don't want it to touch the resistor. Easiest thing to do, put a little glob of hot glue on the resistor there.
And the reason we do this with hot glue is so that hot glue can peel right off. So if we need to make repairs or adjustments, this will just peel right off. And then all these other connectors, again, we're just gonna tape these off. This again will slip into the stem. So now that this is done, we're gonna go test it out, and
we're gonna roll out to the real shop and plug it into the actual scooter and go see how.
And we're gonna see two motors spinning.
All right, so this is the actual shop. So much better than the shop in my living room.
All right, so we're gonna plug that in there.
The spark is normal, right?
So the spark, spark is normal. It's because it's 72 volts. The higher the voltage, the more intense the spark's gonna be. So it's not using an anti-spark connector. Let's take a look here. We're gonna plug in.
Is there any risk of blowing the controller with that spark?
I mean, there's always a chance, especially when you get to 72 volts. It's really rare. So we've got the dashboards plugged in right here. We've got the both controllers plugged in. Again, this controller's gonna go up here. This controller's gonna tuck right in front right here. We have both of them hooked up. We have our Hall sensors hooked up. We have the front rear motor hooked up. So we're gonna go ahead right now, check the dashboard that we just wired up. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit the power button on this one here, and both dashboards should turn on. Again, we're gonna heat shrink this later and tuck this right here inside the tube. It's just gonna slide right in. If we did everything right, both of them are gonna turn on.
Woohoo!
All right, and again, once I send the same command to this right here, so if I double click it, for example, to change eco,
They both
Drive,
change. Got it.
Sport. If I hold it down, they both turn off. Right. Same with this. If I hit this button here, you control both here. So both controllers on. So we'll show you real quick here.
Both motors should work right now, then, right?
Both motors should work. Oh, you know what? Hang on. We gotta. I wired these backwards. That should be yellow. So we gotta fix this one here. The wires are backwards. It should be yellow to yellow, brown to green, blue to blue. When the motor doesn't spin and it locks like this, it bounces back. What that means is that either your phase or your hall wires are wrong. In this case, you can see the yellow to yellow, blue to blue should be swapped here. So we'll swap these two. But yeah, as soon as that's done, you'll see that front motor and rear motor two-wheel drive is good. Last thing
that noise, by the way, is the brakes that we were talking about earlier. That's not the motor. It's just the caliper is very slightly hitting the little rivet on the rotor. So we're going to change the rotor out with a new rotor we have over here.
So this is going to go onto here. So this is a quad piston on the front. So he will be able to do stoppies if he wants to. But again, this is a quad piston front hydraulic brake. This is one of the best budget hydraulic brakes you can get. And so again, it's a good compromise. It's not a Magura, but I'd say 60% of Magura for $60 versus $300.
You can buy the M.4 connector on Amazon, and you can get the bleed kit from pedoutlet.com. Okay, so we had a small wire with the or small error with the wiring on this thing. All fixed now. We got blue to blue, yellow to yellow, brown to green. We're gonna see if this works now.
All right, so we're gonna turn them on. They're gonna hit the power button here again. This is the dashboard that's gonna go inside. Both of them should turn on. Perfect. Sports mode. Now we should see
both
the rear
motors
and the front. And that's it. Bolted up after that, and we're good to go.
Moment of truth.
We'll do the front again. And again, that's the brake on the front.
Whoop. There we go. Money. The dual motor Ninebot Max is live.
Oh, this is just basic software. There's no tuning, but 41 miles an hour or 67 kilometers an hour. I got both of them going here, different speeds. But that's just basic firmware on there.
Stock firmware, 41 miles an hour with these two controllers and battery. So we're
there you go. You got your two-wheel drive G30, G30 G2, first one out there, and we'll see what it can do. Hopefully, you can break it. If not, I mean, I don't know. We'll keep pushing until we do. Just for the batteries, you guys see here, these are running the stock XC60 off the battery itself. Again, this is a 150 amp battery. This is a high power battery. We are running QS8 connectors. So again, QS8 into two XT60s. This is not something you typically see on here. You should see the same performance, if not better, than any VSET 10, etc.
Yeah, this is the Visa 11 Plus Super inside of a Ninebot Max
by Segway. So here's
by Segway.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not quite the GT2.
It's not quite anything. It's just totally modded out of the MyMax Mods lab.
Yes, and so with this, even with this battery, we have a twin 300 amp controller, and that would actually jump to 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. Again,
we're not going there yet, though.
No. The challenge today is to see how much we can push on these stock Ninebot controllers. We're running two controllers, one to each motor. And the real test here is to see how much can we push with the stock controllers running 72 volt scooter.
Yeah, this is really thick. This is like 5 millimeter thick.
Yeah, and it's all reinforced. Again, you know, you have your front disc bracket. Everything here is reinforced. Every single one of these was custom made to this exact specification, so this motor would fit in the front with the disc brake. So we only have a limited number of them. So again, you know, not everybody's gonna be able to do this. Yeah, and like I said, then you actually have full front disc brakes as well versus drum.
True.
So that is a big change there. But for those that are really serious about, you know, pushing something like this, we do have a couple kits for you guys available.
Let's button this up. Let's flash the firmware on there and see what we get free spin with the new stuff.
That works. We'll do that next.
Just for that extra added sexy touch, we have got the gold screws from pedoutlet.com. That's a stock screw right there. Boop. We have these in aluminum and titanium if you really think you're going to full send.
All right, and these look much better than the stock black ones. It's actually a really nice accent piece.
Plus they just look good. Like, look at that, gold.
Yeah, who doesn't like gold?
0 people. And it matches your stickers and your aesthetics come from the factory.
So let me show you a trick really quick here. But what you do is when it's loose, like this, squeeze the handle. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna center where this wants to naturally be in the center. And then you're gonna tighten it while it's squeezed. And what that's gonna do is gonna center the caliper perfectly in the middle while we tighten it. And now we let go.
All right, front motor all good, installed. Pure sex. Rear motor works.
Oh. That's both of them.
Cash money.
We got the hydraulic brake in the front, ready? 3, 2, 1, boom!
Instant stops.
Instant stop.
All right, got the controller shoved in the back, controller shoved in the front, battery pushed down flush with the frame for the most part.
Running up here in the front.
I think it's probably good that the controllers are separated for the same reason that the ones on the RS are separated. Just less heat right next to each other.
Oh, 100%, 100%. The bottom, we go ahead and push on here. That's gonna go down and bolt up, but we'll go ahead and turn on.
Another test. It's never a bad idea to just test periodically as you put things back together.
That's it. You can literally jump on this thing right now.
Once we get this.
Yeah, we're gonna button this down with the bolts. But again, first we're gonna go ahead and mount this controller down. We have the front controller in front of the battery. And again, these are gonna run a lot cooler than normal. So normally you'd have one motor pushing the whole scooter. Because we're dividing both of these in half, each one's gonna take the workload. So again, in higher voltage, you can run cooler as well, amps versus voltage. So we're gonna run higher voltage, less amps, and that's gonna help everything else run cooler as well. So we'll go ahead and button this up and then we'll let them see what it can do.
We got the 72 volt Ninebot all fixed up. This is probably one of the world's fastest. Huge thanks, Chris.
No, that's good.
Yeah, this has been a fun project. At the very least, a learning experience. We got Fat Max front and back, 72 volt motor, and check out this top speed. Boom. How do you like them apples?
This is with a dead battery. It'll be much faster when it's fully charged.
Yeah, this is with a not charged battery. Insane, 40 mile an hour Ninebot Max. Subscribe to Ginger on Wheels. We're gonna be testing this thing out on the streets.